So I was watching a Digital Foundry video. I think they were benchmarking Nioh. And I try to keep my eyes straight ahead when it comes to just watching the video, trying not to glance down below at the comment section, because I know for the most part it's not going to be beneficial to the experience, let's just put it that way. But I'm human, and sometimes my eyes start to stray and they end up down there in that cesspool. It appears to me that nowadays gamers, console gamers, PC gamers, mobile gamers, we like to put ourselves in a category. This way we have someone else to fight with. And it just appears to me that people care more about brand loyalty and fighting over logos, corporate logos, more so than enjoying games, which is, for me anyways, what this is all about. And although I do own a very capable gaming PC, I don't consider myself a PC gamer or exclusive to one platform. I just consider myself a guy that likes to play video games. I go where the good games are, period. This whole console war, it's just so ridiculous and asinine. Pardon my French, but I could give a fuck about any of that. I understand that, when you own something, you buy something, or someone bought you something, you're proud of it. I get it. But you take it to a whole new fucking level of batshit craziness that I just can't seem to understand. What is it exactly that you get out of this? How do you benefit from that shit? What's your driving force behind being such a fucking fanboy? It's not like these companies are acknowledging what you're doing, giving you anything for it. In fact, you're volunteering quite a bit of your free time. For what? For what cause? What's the end goal here? I mean, I know the answer. You just want an excuse to insult each other. But here's the news flash. You don't need an excuse to go out and be an asshole. If that's something that gets you off, just go do it. You don't need to hide behind Xbox or PlayStation or whatever. Anyways, when it comes to Digital Foundry, I understand completely from a business point of view that they're trying to expand their viewer base, have more engagement, things like that, more traffic. I get it, and I completely respect it. But the thing is, when it comes to consoles, hardware is never the selling point. Okay? The focus should never be on the hardware. I know it's 2017, I'm quite aware of what year it is, and I get it. Games should be running at a standard of 1080p, yada yada yada. I completely get it. But when it comes to consoles, the selling point, for me anyways, this is just my opinion, are the exclusives. Okay, that's what sells consoles. Well, no. Let me back up just a little bit. That's what helps us choose which console is more appealing in terms of our taste, what we prefer to play, things like that, right? That's one of the defining things when it comes to which console we're going to pick. Sony has gone on the record by saying that they do want to compete directly with the PC platform. And I'm guessing that it's just a coincidence that Digital Foundry has really stepped it up when it comes to covering the PlayStation. Sure, they cover Xbox as well, but not nearly as much. I mean, seriously, when it comes to Digital Foundry's YouTube channel, they hardly even cover PC stuff. I mean, not as much as they used to. Let's just say that. Okay, because people are going to make the argument and point at videos. No, look, I get it, but not nearly in the volume that they once did. Let's keep in mind that once upon a time they were very much PC-centric, and that's understandable, because when it comes to technology within video games, it's within the PC spectrum where you're going to see the advancements on a more regular basis than, say, the console. I mean, I think that's fair to say. I also think that's something we can all agree on. Back to Nioh. So I was looking down in the comment section, and I saw so many comments about this game looks like it's a PS3 game, talking about the visuals. Now look, first of all, when it comes to me, while I do love my graphics, okay, I am a bit of a graphics whore, but not to the point where I'm willing to compromise everything else, including having a good time with game, just for the sake of, photorealistic graphics, okay? Some people still enjoy playing video games for the sake of having fun, the gameplay, and things like that. More importantly, when it comes to resolution, sure, I totally agree. Again, been PC gaming for a while, so for me, 60 frames per second, that has been the standard. 1080p that has been the standard. I get it. Console is behind the times. We all get it. But the fact is, at this current juncture, things aren't changing until the Scorpio comes out, and sure, the Pro's out, and I have mixed feelings on that. Not going to get into it. The point being, we live in a generation where a lot of gamers out there sit there and judge a game purely based on how it looks. And if it's not photorealistic, they're going to sit there and talk shit about it. And this kind of thing happens every single day with every single one of these kinds of videos. Digital Foundry has single-handedly helped set this narrative. I mean, here's the thing. Consoles, for the most part, it was all about the simplicity of these machines, and more importantly, the software. Exclusive games, things like that. They were never meant to compete with PC. And for obvious reasons. PC, the hardware, is constantly evolving, changing on an annual basis. So just bear this in mind. Consoles were never meant to compete with the PC sector of gaming. And Digital Foundry kind of forced it a little bit. And the reality is, while I'm not insinuating anything, it's a known fact that these fanboy videos that fuel this console war, those videos are trendy and they draw a lot of traffic. Okay, let's be realistic about things. Let's be honest about things. If you're an Xbox user and you're a participant in this console war and you see that Digital Foundry has now uploaded another PS4 Pro or PlayStation 4 video, you might feel compelled to go over there and talk shit. Just the way it is, right? That's your job if you're a participant in this console war. And all I'm trying to tell you is that the only ones that are reaping the benefits, the spoils of this war, are the people making these videos, are these companies. Stop selling yourself out. Don't let these, and I'm not talking about Digital Foundry, I'm not talking about anyone specifically, I'm just talking in general. Don't let any one of these companies or people use you as a pawn for them to make some ad revenue. Don't allow that. And look, while it might not feel like it, your time is worth a lot more than to sit there day after day, wasting it away in these comment sections. One thing you don't get back is time. I suggest that you value it. And sure, maybe you got under someone's skin, you got someone all wound up, you trolled somebody, and you get a little burst of adrenaline or energy, I don't know. But that doesn't last, right? It goes away until you do it again. I mean, seriously. You have better ways to apply your time. And one day you're going to look back and say, fuck, I wasted a lot of it. And I get it, a lot has changed. You have so many different elements nowadays where it's just like, you know, I just want to enjoy my games without all this nonsense. And I know that sometimes becomes harder to do. But if you keep it simple and you just focus on games and not all this nonsense about what's the better console and AMD versus nvidia bullshit. Just get whatever you can afford, what works for you, and enjoy your games, man. That's all that matters at the end of the day. No one's paying your fucking bills. No one's paying for your fucking games. You are, or your family is. So fuck what everyone else says, you know what I mean? Back to Nioh. Keep in mind I'm a PC gamer. I'm a bit of a graphics whore, admittedly. And I will play as high of a resolution as I can possibly get without sacrificing performance in the meantime. And I have personally chose to play Nioh at 720p. It's called action mode in order to achieve a solid 60 frames per second. And I'm okay with it. To be honest with you, I haven't really noticed too much because I'm enjoying the game too goddamn much. You know how that works? You know? The game, the thing that you're actually buying to play, enjoy, and have fun with. I mean, if all you care about is photorealistic, I suggest maybe, possibly finding a new hobby, such as film. Another thing, I just want to quickly touch on 4K, because I see this a lot in the comments section over at Digital Foundry. It's not a trend. It's not a gimmick. It's technology evolving, something that you can't stop, something you're going to have to adopt now or later. That's like saying 1080p is a gimmick when 720p was the standard. That nobody asked for 1080p. Does that make sense? Because I see that a lot in the comments. Nobody asked for this 4K, it's just a gimmick. It's like 3D. No, it's not. It's completely different. Completely different. The only thing I can compare with is technology with cameras. The lenses improving with time. Better zoom capabilities, things of that nature. And look, if you're completely happy and content with 1080p, or maybe that's all you can afford at the moment, that's great. But don't sit there and try to convince other people that 4K is some sort of a gimmick just because you can't afford it or that you just don't care for it. Like, that's insane to me. How can anyone sit there and call higher resolution a gimmick? Like, it doesn't even make sense. It's not even logical. But I see it so goddamn much. It's just, I have tried to legitimately sit there and spend time explaining to these people that no, it's not a gimmick, dude. Like, that doesn't even make sense. And the next thing you know, I'm met with this nonsensical fanboy resistance where it's just like, holy shit, dude, you guys are completely out of touch with reality. I mean, you can make the argument that 4K isn't needed. Of course, I mean, when it comes to these things, they're luxuries. Nothing's needed. But sooner or later, 4K will be the new 1080p when it comes to the standard. And you're more than likely going to have one. Anyways, yeah, that's all I got. I just wanted to talk about a couple of things because Nioh is a fantastic game. I have not played a game in a long time where my eyes started to actually suffer from the extended periods of gameplay. Last time this actually happened, I think it was the original Black Ops. I was trying to actually prestige in a ridiculous rate, as well as I think there were a couple of secrets that were still unknown. But yeah, that's when the last time I can remember my eyes were actually burning from playing so much. Anyways, Nioh, it's a fantastic game. Sure, it looks a little bit dated visually. I will be the first to admit that. But holy shit, man. Like, and so does it in Yakuza 0 and quite a few other games. But you're going to pass up on playing them because Digital Foundry says that the shadows aren't up to snuff? That there are some anti-aliasing issues? But that's something that's going to happen quite a bit when it comes to consoles, because after all, they're consoles. You can only squeeze so much out of them. And so when it comes to the base consoles, this whole graphics is everything kind of narrative, you're putting a lot of pressure on these developers to get the game to run at a resolution that these consoles just can't handle. The next thing you know, you're having shit performance. And God, I cannot deal with shit performance. I'd rather have the game running at 900 or 720p than having shit performance. In a perfect world, we'll have the best of everything. Performance, visual fidelity, but we're not there yet when it comes to the legacy consoles. And you're sitting there trying to tell me that you'd rather play a goddamn slideshow for the sake of having a little bit better visual fidelity and a few extra pixels. Speaking for myself, I'm not willing to take a hit when it comes to the performance. I'd much rather take the hit on the visual fidelity side of things. That's where the compromises, in my personal opinion, should be made. Instead of continuing to raise the resolution to see how close you can get it to being playable, I'd rather see them do the opposite. Keep dropping the resolution until it hits a stable 60 frames per second. That's just me though. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. But I'm going back to play Nioh. I just wanted to get this off my chest. Anyways, I'll talk to you later, guys.